Of course, today is Friday. We got 3 college football games. Tomorrow is College Football Saturday. And, of course, November 1st, we'll be having a new format for the show. So not sure how that will work out, but we will figure it out, and it always seems to work out just fine. Anyways, got the gang is with us today. We've got Brian Bittler. We've got Ann Shore. We've got Chris Ruffalo and Rod Zawacki. All here. Good morning, gang. How are you?
Tremendous. Awesome.
Good morning.
Oh, we got 3 games tonight. Brian, what do you got?
I'm going to do a special for Trick or Treat Halloween. You can get the rest of my college football for just $400. That's $100 off the normal price. I couldn't even sleep last night. I'm so excited for Friday and Saturday. So, guys, make sure you check it out at the website.
Sounds wonderful. Chris, what do you got?
I have a 3-pack for college football today. 3 of my favorite, strongest plays heading into the weekend. For $29.95 over at the website.
And how are you this morning? What do you got going on?
Hanging in there. I have one good premium play up right now for today. I might add in a second one, but right now I have one good solid one that I love.
Awesome. And Rod, how are you this morning? What do you got going on?
All right. Tonight it's a Friday morning. It's Steak Friday. That's what I got going on. I'm trying to go for back-to-back sweeps on Steak Friday. I got 3 college football up there available, $29.99. Sure grab 'em.
All right. Well, we've got 3 games tonight. We got not the best schedule in the world. We had 4 games, but got pared down to 3, such is the world that we live in. Got Maryland taking on Minnesota. Maryland looked absolutely hideous last week, and Minnesota, well, they didn't look a hell of a lot better, but we know that P.J. Fleck can certainly coach and can get his team together. Not really sure what's up with this, Maryland team. It's like, it's like, do you feel like laying 20 points on the road with a conservative head coach? I think that's what this one boils down to. Minnesota clearly, a team that, competed for the Big Ten, title game last year. So you know that they're not that far off. But Maryland, dumpster fire, and then what we saw in week 1 was certainly not inspiring. Certainly wish that we had a few more games under our belt with these teams to look at to see if it was just, well, maybe they ran into a buzzsaw in Evanston and Northwestern, or if they really are that stinky. Brian, no one knows stinky like you. What do you think?
I'll tell you what, guys, you want the side, tune into the drive-thru tonight. I'll be giving out with Tony T. As far as the total goes, I don't know if Maryland has enough to put up points on the board. So this total being around 62 and a half, I don't know if they can contribute to that. Also, we have Minnesota coming off of a huge home letdown loss against Michigan where they got their butts kicked. For me, it's a play on the under. I'd say it's pretty solid.
Chris, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm 100% with Brian on this one. I just can't back a Maryland team that scored only 3 points against a Northwestern team that I had, little to no expectations for. And, I do think this is a strong performance for Minnesota here. I just don't know if Maryland contributes to that number.
How about you, Ann? This looks like a real thriller.
I actually really agree with you guys, with Brian and Chris. I definitely see this game going under. Again, Maryland, they just can't seem to score. It just seems like all the points will just be up to Minnesota, and I just don't think it's going to be enough to cover.
Rod, how about you?
I look at this and I go, we've seen what Fresno did their first game, and they stunk the bed. And then what Fresno did last night, they came out and bounced back and actually played a really good football game and won. Same thing happened here. Maryland stunk the bed the first game. I think that's way too many points. I'll take Maryland plus the 20.5 points. I think it's closer than that.
I like the over. I didn't see Minnesota stop Michigan at all. At all.
No.
No chance.
Michigan's pretty potent.
Huh?
So Michigan's a pretty potent. They played
Since
a
when?
pretty potent game. Oh, well, in that first game, you can't judge the whole season off one game.
No, I'm not judging the season. I'm judging the team. I'm judging them for this week going on the road in a conference game.
This could be a shootout.
Yep.
Maryland has I mean, this is major conference college football. There's no scrubs on these teams, There's no scrubs on Maryland. It's like they might not be as well coached and they might not be as gelled together, but trust me, if in your high school, the best player on your team, your very best one, if he got offered at Maryland, he would take it. Unless he was going to, unless he had multiples, like for Alabama, Clemson, whatever. But they're in that same discussion. It's not like they're, it's not like this is, Division III walk-on, This is Maryland. This is a major college program with big-time financial backing. This is a Big Ten school, It's just they're coming out of a bad situation. And we've seen other teams come out of bad situations. We saw it happen at Baylor last year, where they came out of a bad situation. But last year, this game was 52-10 at Minnesota. So that would have been over this number as well. They gave up 73 against Ohio State, this Terrapin team. So I don't know, 62, 61. 61 in the Nebraska game, the Michigan State game. I mean, that was pathetic. And they gave 43-3, last week. It was a lot closer than the score. I'm just kidding. It was not closer than the score.
Yeah, but it's true. Like, it's Big Ten, so it could be a high-scoring game.
You just don't know.
It just seems like we don't know what's Maryland going to do.
It's hard because while we laugh at when Ohio State plays Ohio and Bowling Green and this crappy out of conference schedule every year, at least you get somewhat of a feel for what's going on. Here it's like, yeah, you're on the road. Now you're home, and it's the same thing. Like Iowa was on the road, now they're home, right? I mean, we'll get to this game tomorrow, but it's like, Iowa was on the road against Purdue, now they're home against Northwestern. It's like Northwestern won 43-3 last week. They're dog now at Iowa. It's like, man, very, very hard to go by that stuff, right? Very, very hard. And then you have, on the other side of it, Purdue, right, who won. Now they go to Illinois, who got run over by Wisconsin. But I'll tell you what, I don't know too many teams in the country that would have stopped that Wisconsin quarterback last week. He was on fire, It was just like, sometimes it is what it is. It was like Phil Simms in that Broncos Super Bowl where he went, 24 of 26? I mean, the greatest game of his life. Nick Foles in that Patriots Super Bowl. It's like, it just happens, There's just nothing you can do. Catch a guy on that kind of day, I'll beat you no matter what happens.
It's another betting strategy, betting situations, teams coming off of certain losses, whether road or home, who they got go. I mean, I like this week in college football. You have a lot of those Illinois type games.
I'll list that right under my fading your NBA picks. It's betting strategy. It's a joke.
Well, I don't know. I don't really care how good a team is. I like to see how the situation is for him this week. So I was against Iowa last week. I'm probably going to be for Iowa this week. So same thing with Illinois. I like them.
It just sucks they canceled Wisconsin.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell, and it's like, what are they going to do, with the cancellation of the Wisconsin game, because Big Ten didn't leave any wiggle room in there to make up games. The MAC said you have to play at least 3 games to be in the conference championship. I mean, that is the COVID zone, right? The MAC, where all those MAC schools are. I mean, I know it's rampant at Ohio State and some of the other colleges, in that general area. It's just, it's
maybe
like
they should have left 2 weeks to, a buffer zone.
Well, not if you're Nick Saban. All it takes is the Georgia game cured COVID in Tuscaloosa. It's like, that's how you cure COVID. Schedule Georgia.
You instantly are good to go.
Yeah, instantly. And, double negative test on the sideline.
Yeah.
Tulsa against East Carolina. This one is a little interesting because East Carolina is so bad, but you have the Bittler inverse line movement going on in this thing, which I don't know how much water I can give it in this one. We did see it in, last night. We saw line movement in both those games. One it it went that way. The other one it didn't. So, that theory, it's certainly not foolproof.
That's not the only thing. You look at, like we were talking in the last game, situations the teams are coming off of or going into, combined with live movement and public betting.
Oh, East Carolina's a shit show. I mean, this team stinks. I mean, they're terrible. There's nothing good about them. The only thing that's good about East Carolina, if you're an East Carolina backer, is they generally get a ton of points, and that's a nice thing to have. They covered getting 28 against UCF on that. They called timeout with 12 seconds left and ran the jet sweep from the 8-yard line to get that. They beat South Florida as a 5.5-point dog. Last week against Navy, 3.5-point dogs. They lost by 4. But Navy's super soft. Tulsa 42-13 against that same South Florida team. So they beat them. They beat them, and they beat them. Right? It's one of those games. At South Florida, they both played at South Florida and both routed them. Except Tulsa only allowed 13 points in that game. Tulsa beat Central Florida, who beat UCF, who beat East Carolina by 100, and except for that backdoor, they lost. They lost to Oklahoma State in a game that they were 23-point dogs, right? 24-point dogs. They covered, but they didn't win. They beat East Carolina last time, 49-24. So I don't know. There's just a lot. There's just a lot against the little, and plus you got anyone that's ever bet a Tulsa game at Tulsa knows they see those certain refs out there in that game. It's going to be a shitty night if you're on the wrong team. We've seen it in Tulsa, man. It's a crazy thing, crazy thing, because they play against those AAC teams, that are, most of them are bigger and better than them. Brian, what do you got to say for yourself about this one?
I'm not very good at totals, but in this one, Tulsa's defense is pretty stout. I know East Carolina's defense is a sieve, but I think defensively they do enough with Tulsa here to keep it underneath that 61 and a half total. So if I had to bet the total, I would take the under here.
You don't think the East Carolina offense is their worst defender? How they rush to the line, they get 3 plays off in about 8 seconds, and then they hang their defense out to dry for the
kind of like the old Eagles under the Oregon coach. I forget what his name was.
Chip Kelly.
He coaches Kelly, yeah. Chip Kelly. Nope, I don't like that for their defense. But like I said, I'm not a totals guy, but in this game, I'll lean towards the under here.
How about you, Chris?
Yeah, I think I'm on the under as well. I can see this one getting to about 55 points, but I just don't see East Carolina having enough to sort of help us get over that number. And Tulsa, I think we see a third straight defensive outing by that, third straight consistent outing by that offense. I think they score 38 in this one, so I'll still take the under though.
Yeah, if you guys want to just troll comments and just pick out losers and do it, it's pretty easy to do, but it's like, I have to warn you, if you're going to troll out comments, then you're fair game on me, and everyone knows this dog bites. So, kids, family, mother, father, all on limits. You bringing it in, that's basically what you can expect to get back. So, we're not here for you to take pot shots at us. Yep, my picks are the worst, man. My picks are the worst. So just show up, fade me. Fade me all day long, man. At least I have the guts to show my face. See what your fat wife looks like and your kids, to make you have a life that's so fucking miserable that all you can do is show up and leave comments like this, man. Pretty pathetic. Anyways, must have a great life that, I'm a YouTube troll, man. I'm so much better than Mitch. Because I'm a troll.
That's not better. That's just clownism.
Get
a life.
It's that's ridiculous. The whole thing of the troll, is they try and tell you how much better they are and how superior they are to you, and how they're better at picking than you, and they're better at life than you, and better than everything than you, but they do nothing, right? They're nobodies, right? They're nobodies. And it's okay, man. I'm all good. What we're gonna do is we're going to change the format of the show, and then we're also going to go to a paid format for the expanded shows, and then you guys control the hell you want. I don't give a shit. I'm pretty much done with it as is. But anyways,
gotta do what you gotta do.
Yep. Anyways, where were we? Sorry, everyone. Well, I'm not really that sorry, I'll tell you that much. I'm not sorry one bit, to be honest.
Sorry, not sorry.
Well, I'm not really sorry. I meant sorry that I had to pause, but I'm not sorry for anything I said, that's for sure. I'm not mad about what you said. This guy, you're mad now. You know, I'm mad that you're unaccountable, that you have no accountability, right? That you don't have the guts to come on and do your thing and show your face and to show up every day and let people be accountable to you. But you feel the right that you could just come on and do whatever you want on my show, right? I don't think so, man. Anyways, Ann, go ahead.
So I was thinking kind of the way you were thinking, about Tulsa beating UCF. But I dug into this game a little bit. I do agree with Ryan and Chris on the under, but I'm going to lean towards, if I did pick, I'm definitely going to take the minus 17.
How about you, Rod?
Team.
For me, I look at this, and the only way this game is even close is if the Pirates can get their run game going, because that's the only bright spot on their lineup this year so far that we've seen is they can run the ball. But Tulsa's defense is pretty stout against the run. So for me, if I'm looking, I don't think they're going to get the run game going. I think you got to go Tulsa here. Give me Tulsa to cover. They win by 3 touchdowns.
God.
Yeah, line's dropping to 16.5 on that game right now.
Yeah, it did. I just saw that, actually.
Key number 17.
I still like the 17. Get a couple extra dollars.
This Carolina's so bad, man. Got just hit some button. I don't even know what the hell happened on my computer. Got Wyoming and Hawaii. This one went right through 0. Wyoming was 2.5-point dogs. Now they're 1-point favorite. I haven't looked at this one this morning, but I'm going to guess that quarterback's going to play. That got knocked out last week. That's the only thing that can make that happen. Also, back-to-back road games for Hawaii. Brian, what do you think?
I hate to sound like a broken record here, but I kind of like the under in this one. I like Hawaii's defense. They're on back-to-back road spots. Wyoming played like crap last week, losing overtime to Nevada. I think you'll see an improved effort across the board from Wyoming. So for me, I know this total's gone up 4 or 5 points, but that's probably due to the quarterback situation. I'm going to go under here.
Chris, Wyoming uniforms, like them, hate them. What do you think? It's that brown and mustard yellow going on there. What do you think?
Not a uniform I'm looking to buy a replica of, I don't think.
It's either you love it or you hate it. There's really nothing. There's no in between on this one. What's the deal with those stripes on the pants? They don't fully stripe all the way down to the bottom of the pant. It's kind of like they cut
ran
off.
Out of money. They were just we got to have everybody look the same.
3/4 of the way.
We can't go all the way down the leg.
I think that stripe is supposed to be like a chap or something, maybe as a Wyoming cowboy.
Yeah, a cowboy. That's what chaps look like.
Okay.
And you're supposed to know about chaps.
Well, actually, Vito does. So
Shut up. Brian's going to ruin my Halloween costume. He's going to spoil it. I already got the leather hat and the glow sticks and everything. For this, I'm going to lean towards Wyoming. I'm seeing it's going to be around 42 degrees, and Hawaii doesn't strike me as the kind of team that likes cold weather. So I think they're going to see a lot of Wyoming defense here. I think they're going to try to stop the Hawaii run. I think they're going to do a decent job at it, and I think this is going to be Wyoming's game in a more comfortable, normal environment that they're used to. So I'm going to lay the point with Wyoming here.
and
So I looked at the totals for this one, and honestly, I just have a feeling in my gut this could go into overtime, which is why I wasn't feeling the under. If it doesn't, then the under is definitely going to 100% hit. But I do agree with Chris. I think Wyoming, after a terrible loss, they're going to come back and do much better in their second game.
This is a game that could have us up to 2 a.m. if it goes to overtime.
that one last night ended pretty late.
Well, I knew I was all right, so I went to bed. But
Yeah, I agree with this comment. The key numbers aren't nearly as relevant in college football. They're not. You see a lot more, off numbers in college football. That's for sure.
It made me worry, though.
I'm not worried. I don't worry. Rod, what do you got?
Oh, this is my pick game I gave out on the drive-through, and I'm still gonna stick with it. I'm sticking with Hawaii here. Give me Hawaii money line. I think they outright over Wyoming.
Hawaii, the 4th-ranked offense after one game, 552 yards against Fresno, who did a pretty nice job last night against Colorado State, but I guess Colorado State could be also really bad. We don't know. That's the problem with these late starts. These guys starting in November. We're just not 100% sure. But the Wyoming defense was just hideous last week. Screw the quarterback being out. They gave up, 600 yards, 500 yards, 420 through the air. And Hawaii's got a gunslinger back there. I don't know. I see all the line movement. I see all those different things. I see it, and it's kind of like, somebody knows something and all that other stuff. But at the same time, boy, I hate teams that don't tackle or play defense, man. It's like you gave up 420 to Nevada. You're going to give up 520 and 620 to Hawaii. Look at the quarterback.
Sure.
Look at the quarterbacks out of Hawaii the last 10 years. They all come from the same high school. They all come from the same one, all of them.
I bet that defense heard about that all week in the film room for Wyoming.
I'm sure they did, but it doesn't mean that Hawaii doesn't just have an unbelievable pipeline of quarterbacks. They all come from the same school. All of them, There's one school that's really, really good in Oahu, and Mackenzie Milton from Central Florida, Tua, Cole McDonald, this guy. They all are from the same school. It's like the long procession. Like they're groomed from the time they're 3 years old to be the quarterback of this high school. I don't know. Timmy Chang, it was. You gotta cross there between Tommy Chong and Timmy Chang.
There's a coach that used to wear the lays all the time.
They all wear the lays. June Jones used to wear the lay.
June Jones
wore the lay, but they all wear the lays. The guy at Namatola from Navy always wears the lay too.
I wonder what Hawaii's record is under 40 degrees last 10 years or so. I don't know. Hawaii doesn't strike me as a cold weather team or wind. I mean, it's going to be windy and cold. We'll see. I like Hawaii's team, but we'll see.
Well, they've been there all week, man. They've been there all week in Wyoming. It's not like they just flew in from Hawaii and landed in Wyoming and they're like, hey, it's cold. They've been there all week practicing in Wyoming and they're in the cold. Trust me, they're acclimatized. The cold weather is not going to make a difference in the game.
Hawaii plays in the Mountain West. Hawaii plays in the Mountain West Conference, so they play cold weather teams all the time. we look at last year's schedule at the end of the season, so they lost to Boise. They beat BYU. That had to have been a bowl game, 38-34. That was here. Right? That game was here. So 38-34. Then they beat Army 52-31. That was here. They beat San Diego State 14-11. They beat UNLV November. So they really, outside of October 26th, the only road game that would have been a cold one was Boise. They lost 31-10. They were getting 14 in that one.
I'd like to see a Hawaii BYU matchup. I think it'd be a good game.
They just played in the bowl game last year.
But last year Hawaii played Boise State.
No, they're in the same conference as Boise.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm talking about. All right.
They played in the Aloha Bowl, the Hawaii Bowl. They keep changing the name. It's the one on Christmas Eve. It's the only game on. It's always over. That game's always an over. Hawaii had 2 rushing yards in that game against BYU. 2. 2 rushing yards. They won 38-34. 2 yards rushing.
5 wide receiver sets.
Yeah, and you got Cole McDonald. Did Cole McDonald stick in the NFL, Chris? I believe he was drafted.
He might be practice squad.
You think he could play with Dallas this week?
I'm sure Dallas would love to have
Yeah,
him.
really.
He's a free agent right now.
Is
Tennessee cut him.
He was drafted, right, by Tennessee.
7th round, yeah.
Yeah. Free agent. Wow, maybe he does hook on with Dallas.
Because the guy they got now, I don't know.
Brian doesn't have a Ben DiNucci jersey coming anytime soon.
Is there any soccer today, Chris? Anything like that going on?
Well, yeah, I took a look at it. And I'm going to take Wolves money line, Stuttgart, and Schalke to draw. That'll be my 2-leg soccer parlay.
Rod, you got soccer today? Rod's been hot on his soccer picks.
Yeah, I got a couple. Give me. I agree with Chris. Take Wolves. Wolves are going to win today. I like Wolves, and I like Ebar. Give me Wolves and Ebar money line. Parlay those 2 up.
All right. Who you got on the drive-through tonight, Chris?
I got myself, Joe Duffy, Rod's on there, Brian's on there as well, giving out his pick for Maryland, Minnesota. We got Jeter on there, and we got Goran giving out soccer as well as Tony T.
How much time do you allocate for a Jeter appearance these days?
There's 5 minutes on the schedule. so that'll cover.
That's why the show is supposed to go from 6 to 7 Eastern. It runs to 9:30. You know,
Yeah.
it's like
so the 5 minutes will cover the intro, and that's about it.
Got the heavy hitters tonight.
fucking Jeter. All right, that's a wrap. We got a big show tomorrow. Starts at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll see you there. We'll try and act more professional tomorrow. Have a great day.